Just give it up for Amanda. None of this would be possible without Amanda. No, you're too humble, you really are, but you are an amazing gift to this community, and I feel very privileged to be working with you on the board, and thank you, thank you. So, this next gentleman, you know, you hear a lot about people, and you see their work, and you think, wow, that's great, he's great, that's great. I would love to work with him. And I finally got the opportunity to work with our speaker tonight, and it was an amazing opportunity, and we did very well. So let's hear some experiences from Mr. Ken Amilin.
Thank you very much, Ian. Ian was the secret weapon to our team this year. Without him, none of what we did would have been possible. So thank you. Give it up for Ian. Ian was he's incredibly talented. If you haven't worked with him yet, really try and find an opportunity to work with Ian, and he'll do magical things for your project. I'll talk to you a little bit tonight about the FlickFest competition. That's what just happened at WIF. This year was my team's 15th entry. We've been competing in this for many, many years. I think we missed the first year and 2019, but other than that, we've been pretty solid. It started not the way you might expect. The same team was together, and we were in the middle of making our first feature film. We were young and naive, and we didn't know at all what we were doing, so we thought, hey, we can make a movie. We've watched movies before. And so we decided to start making a movie. We didn't know how to write a script. We didn't know how to produce, how to cast, how to direct, shoot, edit, none of it. We learned all of it on the spot, baptism by fire. And we got about 3/4 of the way through, and we ran out of money. We wanted to do some more stunts and more scenes. And then we caught wind of this 48-hour FlickFest competition with a grand prize of $1,000. And we thought naively, well, we're already doing a feature film. We could swoop in and win this little competition, get the $1,000 and finish our movie. So we did exactly that. We put our team together, and we made a film that we thought the judges would want to see, that would guarantee us the win. It was very pretentious and over dramatic. And it screened at the theater, and we almost got laughed out of the screening. It was so bad. We were all so embarrassed by it, but we had a great time participating in this competition. So we just came back the next year. And the next year, we did the exact opposite. We forgot about what we thought the judges would want. We just made something that we thought would be fun and that we would want to watch. And it went over way better. Everyone loved it. We loved it. And from then on, we just kept making these short films. And we've been very fortunate. The team has kind of grown. We've got people still on this 15th film who've been with us since that very first one. And every year there's new faces as well. It's one hell of a great experience. Every year doing this competition, it forces you to be creative, to get together with a group of friends and make something. Because Lucas is one of our co-producers, team kind of leaders here on Small Town Films, and every year we have such a great time at the FlickFest, and we say, oh, we should do a short film like not in the FlickFest. And it wasn't until last year we actually did one, and we've been saying it for years. And the benefit that the FlickFest has is it kind of lights that fire under your ass to say, oh, this is the weekend, get the people together, make it happen, you have a deadline, you have to have a finished film by the end of the weekend. And you have something, you can't say, oh, I got work, put it off till tomorrow, put it off till next week, and then, you know, if anyone here has ever made something, you probably have 5 things you've started and you haven't finished. With the FlickFest, it forces you to have something done. And every time you do it, you learn something, you grow. And you see that with all the teams coming back year after year. Having done it 15 times, I've seen a lot of films from the same team year after year after year. And overall, every submission every year, the bar gets raised. Everything, the quality just keeps going up and up. A film that won in year 2 wouldn't even place in year 5. The same goes for year 6, year 7, all the way up. It's just great to see the filmmaking in the city being elevated by this competition. It's really cool, and it's a really fun thing to do. This year posed a whole new challenge because of the size of our team. We were fortunate in doing it 14 years. We've had some success, so people know the name and they reach out and they say, hey, can we be on your team? Can we be on your team? Sure, sure. So we ended up with a huge team trying to figure out what to do, and we landed on musicals. And that's no surprise, because in our 6th year of doing it, maybe 7th, the organizers introduced a genre die. They had a big dice, and there was a different genre of film on every side, and you had to roll it, and whatever it landed on, you had to make that genre of film. And so, up to that point, we were always doing a horror or a comedy. That's what we were comfortable with, that's what we loved. And we rolled drama. Oh my God, okay, what are we gonna do? So, we put our heads together, came up with a story we thought was interesting, and to this day, I think it's one of our best. We did something different, outside of our comfort zone. It forced us to be creative in a way we wouldn't normally be. And from that year on, I challenged the team and myself to always tackle something I've never done before with the Flick Fest. Whether that's, you know, working with kids, or simply doing a big dialogue scene with 5 different people all talking at the same time and figuring out how to direct and cover that. This year it was a musical. We had never done anything like that. We were kind of going back through our list and counting, oh, well, we've done heist film, horror, we've done a Western, we've done sci-fi. What have we not done? We've never done a musical. So from the outset, that was kind of the direction we were going, and got so lucky to contact Ian. We got into contact probably about a month and a half beforehand, and you were right on board. So we started playing around with different musical ideas, and of course we don't know what we're writing until the weekend starts, so that was a huge challenge in putting this all together. But it was just one part of the whole puzzle, because you've got 15 actors on camera, you've got choreography with a choreographer getting a dance number, trying to get wardrobe together. So it was very important to have a team in place that you trust to get all those things done. When you've got a small team, it's easy to wear 5 different hats and say, oh, we're doing this, then that, then this, then that. And I think starting out, everyone kind of comes from that world where you're just doing it, maybe you, maybe one other friend, and you have to do everything to get it done. And it's hard to break away from that and trust other people to hold those roles that you would normally do. You've got a way to set, you like it done, but you have to trust other people are going to do it just as well, if not probably better. And we definitely had to do that this year, or it all would have fallen apart. There was just not enough time in a competition that size to do it. So it was a great experience. We were surrounded with really talented people, and yeah, really, really proud of it. So, yeah.
That's good.
Any other questions?
Yeah, how many people were in your crew?
This year our team was 30.
30
people,
Wow.
15 actors on camera, and 15 crew behind the scenes, either writers, producers, editors. Even of those 15, most of them wore multiple hats, trying to get everything done, right? It was one hell of a...
That's a lot to coordinate in a short time.
Exactly, right? Some of our actors stepped in as assistant directors or as choreographers when things were moving around, you know. It's a dance, for sure, for sure. Yes?
So you said people reached out to you to like be part of your projects. Is that how you came across most of your crew and your actors? 'Cause one of my
This
friends-
year, yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
So like you accept volunteers for your projects at all? One of my friends is one.
Depending on the project, yeah. You know, like that year, we know we wanted a big cast to try and do this kind of thing. And, you know, I wasn't in a position to turn anyone away. I said, hey, if you're interested, absolutely. You want to give up your sleep for the weekend? Come on down. Let's do this. For sure. So.
You know what I love about working with you was, so in the preamble when we were sharing musical ideas and everything, and I remember I send you a Latin thing,
Yeah.
and you suggested a 50s thing, and then you suggested the Greatest Showman style, and we were playing with different styles. I was caught in my head, well, when you said, oh, we're going to do it at Hi-Ho Diner, I thought, oh, we're going to go 50s.
Yeah.
We're just going to go, okay, so 50s, 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 right? But you thought outside of the box and utilized not just 50s, but the Greatest Showman style
Yep.
as well, and this other jazzy style.
The Greatest Showman I watched a few days before, and it had this like edgy modernness that I really liked, the opening song of that movie. And then once we had the script, I knew we needed like a revenge song, and the main inspiration for that was Scar's song from The Lion King. Like, all right, well, we can take that, give it a little bit of a 50s sound, and get that in there. Yeah, you wrote that, and it was Friday night at midnight. You get that message.
Yeah.
Okay, I need this by 10 o'clock tomorrow night so I can shoot it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So yeah, it's pretty
You
wild.
taught me, you showed me to think outside of the box, because sometimes when you write a musical and you're in a 50s style, you're not writing other styles like that. So
Sure,
good
yeah.
for you for expanding my horizons.
Thank you.
So just a personal question. How
Yeah.
did you get into all of this? What's your...
Filmmaking?
Yeah.
Oh well, I started, thankfully for my mom, she was a graphic designer. So I didn't have computer games, I had a computer with Photoshop. And I spent a lot of hours playing around with Photoshop and Illustrator and figuring out what I could do to manipulate an image or a picture and make logos. Then I was in a band, and so I had this music creative avenue. But I was still making logos and artwork for the band. And that turned into a passion for photography, which then led to a program that no longer exists at St. Clair College called Entertainment Technology, which is mostly focused on live event, concert, and theater production. But there was one element of video production, and I really gravitated towards that. So at the time I was in the band, and I was really focused on making music videos for my band. And that quickly changed when my best friend Corey suggested, hey, let's make a movie. Oh yeah, okay, I'm into this video thing now, and I know enough how to turn on a camera. Let's do this. And so that became our focus, and like I said, we jumped right into it. We had never shot a short film, a skit, or any kind of commercial. It was, we're gonna make this hour-and-a-half long werewolf film. And yeah, we drove to Cleveland, Ohio to buy a camera. Back then it was a 1080i shooting on mini DV tape.
Oh gosh.
And I could afford 6 tapes, which is not enough to shoot a whole movie. So we were shooting for 3 weeks straight in the university dorm building. And when those 6 tapes got full, I would take the camera, the tapes, and a 2 terabyte hard drive that I could afford, and go to Henry's camera store. And they were so gracious. Ted, the manager there, let me set up the camera and the hard drive on the display MacBook. And I would capture all of my footage in real time. And I would pace the store. Like, probably 5 times I did this.
That's a great story.
Hours and hours walking
It's a
this
movie
store,
map.
pretending like I was going to buy something, and I had no money. So if not for that, wouldn't have been able to make this movie. And then the producer friend on that movie graciously was able to pick up a computer and let us use that to finally start the editing process long after we had finished all the principal photography. And then it became, okay, let's learn how to edit something. So
That's great. So whatever happened to that movie?
that premiered at WIF
Okay, cool.
in 2010.
2010. Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
it had 2 sold-out screenings. That movie's called Moonlight Sonata. It was.
We should bring it back.
There, yeah, I mean, some of it holds up. Most of it is cringy for me to
Yeah.
watch now. But, I mean, it's kind of relevant now with the pandemic because it's a werewolf film that presents itself as a outbreak quarantine film.
Wow.
Yeah. So,
That's great.
Just remind me, I'm older than you. I started with VHS.
Which one?
VHS.
VHS, oh yeah.
And actually, because I don't afford to put it on, there's no digital things at that time.
Right.
I end up with a VHS with a part of a lot of movies because we got it above each.
Oh yeah. You just
My
film over
question,
and over.
yeah. My question is, most of the movies, short or long, it's stuck between get money and find a market. You know,
Yeah,
to start.
we weren't even thinking of that back then. We just wanted to make something. So we did that entire movie for $3,000. It was, you know, everyone just putting in their own time for free, friends and family, and you know, we held our casting auditions. We posted on Kijiji back then. And people showed up, and we had 10 roles to fill, and 10 people showed up, so everyone got a role. Yeah, and then went from there. I think, if I remember correctly, $800 of the budget went towards the costume. Fur was expensive. Fake fur, but still. So, yeah.
So I have another question. This will be my last, because I'm sure other people have. Of your whole career, what was your biggest challenge, biggest success in your mind?
Well, oh geez, doing that first film was certainly a challenge because everything was brand new. We didn't know how challenging it would have been because we were so lucky, right? Everything just happened to line up time after time. We were looking for a car that we could crash and blow up, and we had already shot most of the film, and it just so happened, it was pure coincidence, driving by a junkyard and saw the exact car that we were already shooting with sitting in the junkyard. We pulled in, and the guy working there was so nice. He said, yeah, tow it out of here, do what you want with it, and just bring it back. You can have it for free.
Wow.
I'm like, but we're going to blow it up. He's like, whatever. As long as you bring it back, do whatever you want with it. Okay, cool.
Biggest success?
Oh my God. Well, just being able to create and work with all kinds of talented people, and it's great. It's, you know, I feel so fortunate to be able to do something I'm passionate about and, you know, meet incredibly talented people. A lot of them are in this room right now, and collaborate and, you know, grow as an artist and build a community. That's the best reward.
You still have time for more success.
Oh, well, you know, we're not stopping.
So what's next? for
Never
you?
stop.
Right now, I'm working on a feature film. I'm in pre-production right now, working on the script. It's called Snakes and Corporate Ladders. It's a murder mystery comedy about a woman who finds one of her coworkers dead at her dinner party and has to try and cover it up as a murder mystery game so no one leaves the party.
Very cool.
So it's kind of like Knives Out meets Weekend at Bernie's.
Who blew up this idea? Who blew up this idea?
Who blew up this idea?
Yeah.
Well, we've been working on this one for about 1.5 years, and it kind of spawned when some friends were over for a visit, and they saw some wood paneling on the wall, and they said, "Oh, your house would be nice to host a murder mystery." It's like, oh, you know, what would a murder mystery movie look like? And then we kind of landed on this idea of what if they were presenting a game, but they were just trying to cover up a murder.
By coincidence, by coincidence, this idea is blew up.
What's that?
By coincidence, this
Yeah.
idea is blew up.
Yeah, exactly.
This is how
The
art
inspiration
happens.
can come from anywhere, right?
Usually arts come like this. You see something, you start imagining it,
Yeah.
and you start building up an idea.
Yep, you just go with it. Let that
Yeah.
idea kind of snowball into something else, which can inspire something else, and you never know where inspiration will come from.
Any other questions?
Do you have any projects you regret?
I'm sorry?
Do you have any projects you regret?
Regret? No, I like to look positively on everything, and there's always something to learn, even if a project does fall apart.
Precisely.
So that certainly does happen sometimes. Something doesn't turn out the way you expect or the way you hoped. But it's always a learning experience. So, no.
Does that mean there's going to be a Mulligan too?
He's referring to that first year of the Flick Fest, the film that we made for the judges.
I can
It was
imagine.
called Mulligan.
Yeah.
Aptly named.
About inspiration. Who inspires you?
Who inspires me? Oh, geez. I get inspiration kind of from everywhere. Every art form, whether it's music or TV or movies or art like paintings. I've always, even back when I was just, like I mentioned, playing with Photoshop or in the band, I always had this drive to create something. I always had to be, trying to figure out what I could create and do something like that. So anything I see from day to day can be inspiration.
And what is your favorite book?
Impossible to answer. Impossible to answer. There's so many, and every day would be a different answer. So
So you said for your first movie that you ever did without knowing how to do anything, you decided to attempt to blow up a car.
yes,
So
that was a creative workaround because there were a lot of fails in that whole project, in that whole process. One of which was the climax of the movie involved our hero, anti-hero, squaring off against the werewolf at night under the moonlight. And we had heard of this technique called day for night. You shoot it during the day and then you can make it look like night through some magical editing process. We had no idea how it worked. So we tried that, and of course it failed because we didn't know what we were doing. So then we thought, okay, well we have to shoot this scene again. What if we just, have the car that the guy's driving pull up and he leaves the headlights on, so the headlights are shining into the field. That makes sense. Okay, we shoot it again, actually at night this time. Then that's when we learned that nighttime is very dark and headlights are not very bright and they don't shine, they don't illuminate a whole field. So we got almost no usable footage from that. So we're back to the drawing board.
Especially on DV tape, like.
Yeah, and I remember this very vividly. Corey was at my house. I was living at my parents' house at the time, and we were dismantling one of those kids like eagle nest things, like the playground all wood structure with the sandbox underneath. And we're taking it apart, ripping it apart. We're talking like, how the hell are we gonna fix this part of the movie? And I was pulling a piece of wood, and it came off. It hit me in the head, and it just like, boom, got the idea. We have to blow up the car. And he's like, what? If we blow up the car, then we can light it on fire, and we can justify lighting the whole field with red light. Like, okay, perfect. Why does the car blow up? Well, what if the werewolf is on the roof of the car in the scene before in a chase, and then they crash the car? Okay, perfect. So now we've written in an explosion, a burning car, and a car crash to the final climax, which made the movie much better, but we had no idea how to do any of this. And again, this is where luck comes in, because we got the car, was very, very proud that I got to put some grade 10 math to good use and use my SOHCAHTOA to figure out the angles to make it look like the car had turned, fishtailed, and rolled over. We actually did roll it over for real by just pulling a chain around it, hooking it to the back of my Blazer, and rolling it over onto its roof.
Where did you do all this?
This was in LaSalle, if you know where the Vollmer Center is.
Yeah, yeah.
The Vollmer Center hadn't been built yet, so it was just an empty gravel yard, basically. So we went back there, did it all there.
No permission or anything? Just
Oh no, yeah. We contacted
okay.
the fire department
Okay.
and told them what we were doing, and they were happy to come out and watch us set up 20 pallets in the shape of a car, light it on fire. And
don't blow up a car in Santa Harbor there.
at the time, I was working for a fireworks display company called K&H Distribution out on County Road 42, and I went to the owner with this idea, and I said, I want to blow up a car. How do we do this? And he said, oh, that sounds like fun. Okay, so he's like, I got everything we need. I got the bomb squad, I got the place, this is gonna be fun. Oh, well, how much is it gonna cost? It's like, no, don't worry, this is gonna be fun. So he had arranged to bring this car into the Amherstburg quarry, roll it back onto its roof, fill it with gas bombs,
Oh my gosh.
and then light it off and have a 100-foot gas bomb fire explosion. for the climax of the movie, which was great. And then we justified a whole bunch of light in the final scene. We flooded it with red light, and it looked epic because there was a huge raging fire behind our hero.
We should see this movie.
I think I want to see this. So you know how I said on November 20th we didn't have a speaker? We should show your movie.
Oh my God!
I'm serious.
We went to the police
I think I wanna
department, I would
see it.
like to see their face.
Yeah, I want to see it.
Oh
I'm
yeah,
gonna-
they were
I'm
very,
gonna
very
blow up the car.
intrigued. They were
Yeah, I
very
think
intrigued with what we
November
were doing.
20th.
Yeah.
I bet you Michael
We're gonna
Bay
show
didn't
it.
blow up a car first movie.
What movie is this?
His movie.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Which movie?
What's the name of it again?
Moonlight Sonata.
Moonlight Sonata, November 20th, yeah.
Already reserved.
You
So
still
are you working full-time and doing film? Are you working?
So I
And how do you balance your life?
run my own production company now.
Okay, cool.
Full time. So.
And how did you balance it when you weren't doing this?
How did I? Well, a lot of sleepless nights. You know, just passion, pushing myself, because I worked at a production company in town for 12 years and tried to continue to do these creative things in my off hours. So,
Yeah.
yeah. Now that I run my own company, it gives me more freedom to do these passion projects and these creative endeavors.
So I think a lot of people in the room may have, I'm not sure, other jobs besides the film. So how did you
Sure.
balance all that?
It's not easy, certainly, right? Because you've got your full-time job that you have to do. You have to pay your bills. But when you get home, you've got to just find a way to prioritize what you want to do. If you want to make movies, then you don't go sit on the couch and watch Netflix. You start looking at a blank page and you write down an idea. You write down a story, start writing down a script. And if you just go at it, even an hour every day, by the end of the month, you'll have something. So-
Go to website for Netflix and apply for.
Yeah, there you go.
But you're still working with the same team, or like most of them still working with you, or
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
change through time?
So Corey, who I mentioned, you know, him and I produced that werewolf movie, Moonlight Sonata. He and I, with a lot more now, including Lucas, who's sitting at the back, are the ones who produced this musical we just released. So same team, we've been working together ever since. Corey's the head writer, so he was tasked with coming up with this story in the middle of the night. So.
Do you think that if you have a solid team, like can work all together, that will make your movies more successful? Or
Well, it's great to work with friends, right? You know, so much of what you do is these long hours, and you know, it can be very stressful. So it's great to be surrounded by people you like working with. So it makes it, because it's fun. If you're not having fun, you're not going to do it, because you're going to have to do it for many, many years before you ever make money at it. So.
You've chosen the right friends, because I was witness to you directing at Hi-Ho, and they were just waiting with bated breath for your next direction, and they were so into it, and they were excellent. They were just so good. It was as though there was no weak link in the chain, because everybody was feeding off of everybody else's energy, and your energy was amazing. It was
Well,
just-
I always try and approach a project like that, you know, especially with a Flick Fest type thing. No one's getting paid. Everyone's there just because they're passionate about the project. So the least I can do is show up with the most enthusiasm and the best attitude towards it, right? I want to show everyone that I'm really excited to get the whole team excited.
Well, that really, it showed. It was great. There was like 35 people maybe, or 36 people in this little restaurant, Hi-Ho on Walker. And man, doing the court, it was just, you could hardly move, but
Yeah.
you made it look so much bigger. It was just really awesome. Yeah, what a great team to
when will we watch this movie?
That one is out now on YouTube. It's called Relish the Old Days. And you can find it on the Smogtown Films YouTube page.
If you send me the link, I'll put it on our Facebook page.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
Hi-Ho is a great location. I read somewhere the other day, it is like the first takeout restaurant ever opened in Canada, and they got like written permission from Walt Disney to use the name Hi-Ho.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's
Wow, I
crazy.
did not know that.
That's
They
very
have 3 locations in Windsor.
Nice. Yeah, the location you shot in probably wasn't their first location or whatever.
Right,
But like,
yeah.
Yeah, their first apparently.
Did not know that.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Very,
Walker Road, like it's nice.
yeah.
A lot of memory.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That one, I chose that location of the 3 because it had the nice big open parking lot for the exteriors that we knew we wanted to get. I did love the Howard location because it had a jukebox. Went with parking lot over jukebox.
It's a hell of a parking lot for one, too.
Yeah.
I know, I live down the block.
Any more questions? This was quite fun.
Great.
November
Thank you.
20th, I'm serious.
Thank you so much.
Please add and subscribe me and hit that notification bell for more updates.